Welcome to the J&J podcast. I'm Jamie,
This is Jameson.
and we want to welcome all of our listeners in. We've been away for a little bit, just with crazy schedules. But today we're going to have our special NBA free agency edition. Lots going on. A lot has happened today. Actually, a lot happened just in the last couple of hours, and we're going to jump right into that. Jameson, why don't we start? Because it
That
really
JB.
happened just before that Jalen Brown. What in the world? They gave this cat away for a bag of kettle cooked chips.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I think Jalen Brown has a tape or something on Brad Stevens or Jason Tatum. Because for what he just got traded for, it makes absolutely no sense. Jalen Brown went from almost getting traded for Giannis Antetokounmpo for playoff P. Come on, man. And here's what I'm
Wow.
gonna say. Here's what I'm gonna say. Dad, the Utah Jazz just got the same amount of first round picks for Walker Kessler as the Celtics just got for Jalen Brown. And they traded him
Yikes.
to a division rival. That's even worse. You traded him
That's
within conference and then to a division rival. And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna flat out say this. I've said this for the longest time. Me and Zach were talking about this the other day. Well, I was talking about this to him. I'm very happy for Jalen Brown. I feel like the Celtics have been very disrespectful to him. I get Jalen Brown can sometimes come off as like, too smart, which is crazy for me to say because I just think the brother's a genius and he's a great basketball player. But here's what I'm gonna say. They're
what are you
putting
gonna
a,
say?
they're putting a lot of stock in Jason Tatum. This brother's coming off an Achilles injury. Low key rushed back, in my opinion. Didn't
Yep.
play didn't play in the playoffs. The Celtics had a
Yep.
3-1 lead with no Jason Tatum, and
Yep.
now Jalen Brown, who was in MVP conversation this past year, and people forget. Jason Tatum, every single NBA Finals he's played in, he's been terrible. When he played
He's
against the
been the worst
Warriors,
player on the team
when he played against the Warriors a couple years ago, he was terrible.
in the playoffs.
I'm talking about the playoffs and the more specifically the finals, and then in the
No, what I'm
finals,
saying is he was the worst player on the team in the playoffs and the finals.
yeah, and then what I'm saying is even his second chance whenever they played against the Mavericks and they ended up winning, Jalen Brown was Finals MVP and Eastern Conference Finals MVP. So you're basically like it's funny to me how Jason Tatum's never included in any trade rumors, but it's always Jalen Brown. So I'm happy for the brother. And now I'm gonna be honest with you, Philly's cooking. You know how VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey, Jalen Brown, they just got Dean Wade last night for 10 mil a season, which is an absolute steal, and Joel Embiid. Are you kidding me? That is a top three team right now in the Eastern Conference. The Celtics went from a top 2 to 3 seed in the Eastern Conference to potentially a seventh or eighth seed. They better hope with those picks that they just got, they can go get Trey Murphy or somebody. Because if they don't, they're absolutely cooked. The only good signing that they made today was getting Mitchell Robinson. And I think he's being overhyped right now because of what
I
he did
mean,
for the Knicks.
they're acting like Mitchell Robinson is the second coming of Kareem
That's what I'm
Abdul-Jabbar.
saying.
Like,
This
no
Celtics
more.
team reminds me when they had Antoine Walker and Paul Pierce. You're not going
Yeah,
nowhere, with all due respect.
great. So, okay, so with Jalen Brown now being in Philly,
Hmm.
I'm going to segue that
Mm.
into the biggest story in free agency right now. Some would argue that it now might be Jalen Brown going to the Sixers. I'm still going to say it's LeBron.
Yeah.
And that for me, that says a lot. So I want your input on this because I've looked at it in two different ways. LeBron basically told the Lakers, "Y'all can have it,"
Yeah, y'all don't have
um,
enough.
and that's really the way that I view it. Like he's like,
What's
"I'm moving
hilarious
out of
is
the
I feel
way."
like now with the moves we made, he might need to slide back. I ain't gonna hold you.
Well,
He ain't going
no,
to at this point. He's done, but I'm just saying.
he might either slide over to Philly or maybe even slide over to the
That's I was
Celtics
gonna
now.
say. But nah, he
Um,
he better not go to Boston.
well, I mean, this is LeBron we're talking about.
Sure.
Um, but with that said, let's talk about the Lakers for just a second because I know Jalen Brown's a big deal, but I also want to talk very quickly about the fact that LeBron.
Kessler.
Yes, okay, so we got Kessler, but LeBron basically said, "Y'all can have it." And I honestly think part of that was he's looked at Rob Pelinka over the last 2 years and said, "You're simply not getting it done." Um, I'm going to sit back because I can still be a top 15 player in the league. To be perfectly honest with
Easily.
you, he proved that last year. Will he be that this year? I don't think he has to go to a team where that would be the case.
No.
He can sit back, chill. I think they said that in this actual order of priorities is what he was looking for. Happiness, money's not an issue as much of an issue.
And he wants
It's
to have fun.
now, and he wants so happiness and fun, money, and then a competing team, a
Yeah.
contending team.
It's got to be a
Um,
championship contending team.
yes. So if you were LeBron James, now seeing some of the dominoes, and there's still more work to be
Yeah.
done, obviously. Um, where would you set your sights?
I'm gonna be honest. Before today, I kept saying the Spurs because I'm like, I looked at it like this: if the Spurs had LeBron James this past playoff run, they easily don't blow that lead in any of those games. They win the championship. And I think
Agree.
having Wembenyama get to play with LeBron for a year or two, Lord have mercy, that'd be insane. But just Wemby will be able to learn from him. So that was my first thing that I said. But now they basically announced the Spurs signed Tobias Harris today. They're no longer pursuing LeBron.
Mm,
So the Spurs are kind of out of it. He's definitely not going back to the Lakers. I don't see him going to the Thunder. There's about 3 or 4 teams that I could realistically see him going to, and it actually it checks the boxes for all 3 things that you said. I think the
okay.
Miami Heat are one. I don't think it happens, but I think if you throw LeBron on that roster now, with they signed Tim Hardaway Jr., they have Andrew Wiggins back, LeBron, Giannis, Bam Adebayo, Davion Mitchell. They have some really solid players, and then Eric Spoelstra's a phenomenal coach. So I wouldn't rule out the Miami Heat thing. Cleveland, I know would be like a storybook ending, but Cleveland's terrible. I think if LeBron goes to that team, they're still getting bounced in the second round. I hate to say. I don't think they have enough talent. And I think that backcourt is still just not good enough defensively. And I don't trust James Harden nor Donovan Mitchell come playoff time.
Let me
So
just jump in real quick on that.
sure.
If we went back to Cleveland, that is literally Lakers East.
Exactly, precisely.
That's what it is.
No, precisely. So I think Miami's a team. I think Philly now is a legitimate option because, like I just said Jaylen Brown, VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, and LeBron James. Lord have mercy, that's best team in the East, no
Do you know how
question.
much money Philly has left?
What I mean, here's the thing: he was signed for the vet minimum at this point. Money's
Yeah.
not an option. If he can
No,
win a
I know it's
championship, he's gonna go there. So Philly now is a viable option. The last 2 teams I'm gonna say is the Denver Nuggets. Trust me, I don't think they have enough, but I think if they're able to re-sign Peyton Watson, you have Jamal Murray, and then him and Jokic. That'll be some fun basketball to watch. I'm gonna be honest with you. 2 of the smartest basketball players we've ever seen. Then
yeah.
here's the fun option that I think, and I think LeBron would honestly be a perfect fit. Minnesota. I know it's crazy as it sounds, but you have a starting lineup of LaMelo, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, LeBron, and Rudy Gobert. You can make some noise. And here's what I'm also going to say out there. We can have this debate a whole nother day. You know, me personally, I think LeBron James is the GOAT of basketball. And I just think this is another point. This is another reason, like, just further proves my point and just, help strengthen my argument. What 41-year-old can be the best free agent out of an entire NBA free agency class? He's 41 years old and he's the talk of free agency. That just come
Agreed.
on, man. That's insane.
It
That's never happening again.
yeah. That is he's an anomaly. He
So,
absolutely
and that
is.
here's the last team I will say because and we can get to them in a little bit. I don't think it happens, but I'm biased. Kate Cunningham is my favorite player. If he quiet as kept went to the Pistons with that roster that they have and they're able to get Jalen Duren back, you now have Kate Cunningham, Thompson, LeBron James, John Collins, and Jalen Duren. I'm not
Well,
mad at that team in the East.
that's kind of filthy.
It
Yeah,
is.
that's kind of filthy.
So
Um,
LeBron had, but really those 4 first teams that I stayed, I feel like it's going to be one of those 4. And here's what I'm going to say. I know what you're going to say about Golden State. I just don't think Golden State, I think it'll be fun and LeBron will be happy. And we've always said we wanted to see him play with Steph. That team's not making it past the first round. I'm sorry.
well, you don't know what other moves that team might actually make if they go get
What
LeBron.
can they do?
I don't know. But here's what I do know. Golden State has always found a way to be creative. And the truth of the matter is, they're way more creative than Rob Pelinka has ever been. I'm always going to go back to that. They're way more creative. Would I have fun watching that team? I don't think they come out of out of the West. I do not think they're actually a contending team. I think they're a team that lots of people would enjoy watching from for nostalgia
Yeah.
because I really would love to see Steph and LeBron
Oh,
play
we've said that
together.
for years.
We've said it for
Yeah.
years. But with that said, um, I do believe that they're still a team that might be on the list because I think that they're a team that behind closed doors may make some moves that would shock everybody, and LeBron would be like,
I'm
"Hmm,
I mean,
that's
granted, I'm gonna
interesting."
say this because it was rumored that like Jimmy Butler would get traded for Anthony Davis. That's clearly not happening. The Wizards, I don't think
No.
they're trying to trade AD. But realistically, even if LeBron just joined their current roster, Steph Pujepski, Jimmy Butler, when he comes back healthy, Draymond Green and LeBron with Kristaps Porzingis, that's not a bad starting five. I just think honestly that floor spacing is terrible outside of Steph, and I just think they have too many injury risk on that team. Because Steph quite has kept us started to get injured, as he's gotten older. Jimmy Butler's coming off an ACL injury. Draymond Green is not giving you a lot offensively, just being honest. Like he can hit a wide open three now, and I think him and LeBron are boys, so it could work. But also Kristaps Porzingis is like he's the European Anthony Davis when it comes to health. Just being
That's a
honest.
very that's a
So
very good point.
you know,
Yes. So, okay. So let's move on from LeBron and talk a little bit about the team he just left, the Lakers.
I'll be
Um,
honest. I'm happy. I'm thrilled.
I I know you're excited, but I want you to temper your giddiness
No,
just
it's
for a
not
second.
even. It's not even about temper. It's just like if given we lost LeBron and some of the other pieces, I still think they can go out there and try to get a Jonathan Kaminga or a KCP on the veteran minimum. I actually love this roster going forward, and I think overall it's not the perfect offseason, but I think given the circumstances, the fact that we've now secured our long term center for the future and we can keep Luka Doncic happy, I'm happy with that.
Okay. So where does this team as constructed now? Because we lost Jackson Hayes, we lost Luke Kennard,
Okay, that's
we
fine.
gained we picked up Grimes,
I'm gonna be
we
honest.
picked
The
up
only person I'm really mad that we lost was Marcus Smart. And of course LeBron. Like I would have loved to have
of
LeBron
course.
back on the team, but I think here's the move that shocked me because I kind of knew that Quentin Grimes and Mamu were done deals. Us getting Colin Sexton, that's a big deal. Like
Mm,
Colin Sexton being able to come off the bench, he's a very good defender on the perimeter. He's very athletic. Really, all the Lakers did was they kind of replaced a lot of the pieces that they had this past year, but just got younger. And now you added Walker Kessler, who can literally be a all-star level big now with Luka Doncic. And for what you need out of a center now, like think about it. We probably have a top 5 center rotation now in all of basketball with Walker Kessler and Walker and DeAndre Ayton being our backup. You can't
I
complain
want
about that.
I won't argue with that. I do like the front line.
Yeah.
Um, but I still wonder who are we going to stop? Now, Walker Kessler is certainly going to solidify the paint. There's no
Yes.
question. But and I just have to say this. So I saw somebody on Twitter today say, "I guess it does snow in LA." Uh, so that look as someone we know would say, you'll get that one before you get home.
Yeah. No
Um,
facts.
but yeah, but I'm just curious about some of the other pieces because every year we think about what the fringe pieces look like. That could be a big deal. This could be a big deal. Grimes, it's one of those, you know,
I'm
I
telling
feel
you,
I feel
Grimes
the
gonna be
same.
clean, bro.
We'll see. I feel the same way about him as I did, say, Luke Nard. Um,
Nah,
but he's a
see,
better
I gotta
no,
stop you there. He
no, no,
can
no.
he can play
He's a better
defense.
he's a better defender, but I'm just telling you, dudes who come to LA forget how to shoot and they forget how to play defense.
I think
That's
it's
just the
going. I'm
reality.
telling you, though, I think it's gonna be different, and it's like I'm telling you, the last time we saw a roster that was actually constructed to fit Luka Doncic's strengths, he was in the NBA Finals. I'm not saying that the Lakers are going to make the finals this year. They still play in the tougher conference. I think they're going to be a fourth or fifth seed in the West. But what I think they have positioned themselves to do is you now can build around Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, Walker Kessler. They're all 26 or younger. It's like 25 or younger. I like Mamu. I feel like he can come over, really replace Rui. He does a lot more when it comes to passing, rebounding. Quentin Grimes is phenomenal. I mean, I've been saying this for the last like year and a half. I wanted us to get Quentin Grimes at this past year's trade deadline. So getting him, I love that move. I think if we can find a way to get rid of Jake LaRavia and Jared Vanderbilt still, and
My God, yes.
maybe turn that into like a 3-and-D wheel, like a Jonathan Kaminga or somebody like that, I think this roster is actually going to be a lot better than people think. And here's what I'm going to also say. I've been saying this for the past like 2 years, the way the NBA has shifted. The formula for success now is getting a lot of young players and being able to fully develop them. Now JJ Redick's going to be forced to play somebody like Cameron Carr good minutes, off rip.
Dalton Connect.
Dalton Connect can finally have a role. I think
Hmm.
Adu Thiero can finally have he got some fringe minutes last year, but like now you can finally have the chance to develop. Even Bronny James
I was
can,
about to say Bronny
I'm
will
saying
actually come in and play some
we have a
defense.
good dad. The average age on our roster now is 25. That's really good.
No, that is good. That's good. I just hear. So here's my question:
Sure.
Was your expectation for the Lakers to contend now that LeBron has gone? It's
Yes.
gone. Was your expectation for the Lakers to contend quickly, or what was your expectation?
My expectation was, and my mindset was, we had to go out there and either get Jalen Duren or Walker Kessler. We've done that, and now it's like a lot of these other moves I feel like help fill out the roster. They can be really good. Because, like I said, Quentin Grimes has familiarity with Luka. Like, they're close. Also, Quentin Grimes is close with JJ Redick. I love that move. I think Mamu's, for the price that we got him for it, is phenomenal. I think Colin Sexton's a great move. I think now what you've set yourself up to do is you can also try to contend this year, but also build for the future. That's the biggest thing. It's like, think about it. The best teams in the NBA, like San Antonio and OKC, they're all young teams. Like these older rosters, at some point, like they get gas come playoff time, or they just have all the injury concerns. It's like now you're with the average age of your roster being 25, and Luka Doncic could low key go out there and win MVP finally this season because he has the perfect team to do it. Like so, I'm not saying this is the perfect offseason because and honestly, it's still not over yet. Like there's another move or two that we could make. Then I can get my final verdict on everything. But overall, given Rob Pelinka, this is a good offseason for him. I did not expect much out of him. You know?
Okay, that's. I mean,
It's not like this is
here.
Bob Myers or Masai Ujiri coming into this offseason. It's like Rob Pelinka's job was really on the line.
Yeah.
So I'm shocked he was even able to get this stuff done, if I'm being honest.
Well, that's the point. I mean, I heard, I heard Kendrick Perkins the other night on the free agency special, and he said, and I can't remember exactly what the conversation was about, but he said, "Oh, so Rob Pelinka's actually going to have to get off his butt and do his
Mm-hmm.
job. He's actually going to have to work now because LeBron has left.
Yeah.
So now you have to actually go do some work. This is a good start. I think it's the minimum. It's the basic of what a GM should have been able to do. Given that you had that much money, you should have been able to sign either Jalen Duren or sign Walker Kessler.
Well,
So
here's what I'm gonna say about that. Then I will give him this. It would be easy to say that if they were both unrestricted free agents. Them being restricted free agents is why we had to give up the picks that we did, and because Danny Ainge literally hates the
hates the
Lakers.
Lakers. No, I get that. I get
So,
that.
because I've heard people say, "Well, you gave up both of your first round picks." First off, what I'm gonna say is, when did the
Who
Lakers?
cares?
First off, who cares? Those picks are going to be Chris Paul's son. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then second off, here's what I always ask Lakers fans: when is the last time we've actually drafted a player and developed them? Just think
don't
about
recall.
it. Every single
Yeah.
time we drafted Brandon Ingram Lonzo, we traded them all for Anthony Davis. Usually, 9 times out of 10, the Lakers have built through free agency or big time trades. They don't build through the draft. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Now with this roster, you have a top 5 player in basketball, Luka Doncic. You now have his center for the future, his backcourt running mate. This roster is honestly starting to remind me of the roster that he had the year he went to the finals. I'm being dead serious. So I'm like,
Yeah, but LeBron's no longer on this roster.
that's fine. I mean, Dad, I'm gonna be honest with you. I would love to have LeBron back right now, but I think he has a better chance to win elsewhere. And I also think,
Oh, agreed.
and I think given the role that he would have played, he would have probably been like third fiddle on this team because they paid Austin Reeves all that money. He's now going to be the second option.
Yeah, he should be. And listen, and he better deliver in the playoffs,
I
which he
think
hasn't done thus
I
far.
think he will. I hope he does.
So, all right, let's shift gears, and
Yeah,
I'm going
yeah.
to bring Zach into this conversation because, ladies and gentlemen, we have Zacharias listening in. Zach, I wanted your opinion. Where do you think LeBron should end up?
Um, First off, happy to be here. Um, I would love to see the Warriors team up with Steph, and I do agree, like you said, that they'll
You want to
figure
see the
out other
Warriors team up with
ways.
Steph? With Steph?
Yeah,
You say you want to see the Warriors
Yeah.
team up with Steph? Haven't they been doing that for 15 years?
let's see. You
Okay.
got
All
jokes. You
right.
know he meant LeBron.
Yeah.
We're
Oh,
trying to
okay,
be
okay.
funny.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my
Thank
fault,
you.
my
Thank
fault,
you.
my
Thank
fault,
you.
my fault,
Thank
my
you.
fault.
You can graduate as summa cum laude and still got jokes. All right. Anyways, yeah, I'd love to see the Warriors for him to go team up with Steph. There you go. Thank you, Jay Rich. I think that would be really cool. Even though they're both old, they'll work together really well, and they'll figure out ways to make trades to get other people to make their team make sense.
Yep.
I also like the Timberwolves, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I think he'll go. I'll just say that I'd like to see him in Golden State or Minnesota, not Cleveland and not Miami. I just don't. Yeah, I don't like either of those.
That Pat Riley.
I'm with you there. I really don't want to see him in Miami.
Well, that floor spacing would be absolutely terrible.
Abysmal. I think Zach actually said he was like, it would be abysmal. It would be
straight rim running action.
I do want to clarify that. I made that comment about the Pistons because you were like, quiet as kept.
Oh.
You know, they can do so. It's like, okay, if you look at it compared to the Warriors, Cade's a worse shooter than Steph, obviously.
Yeah.
Asar Thompson can't shoot. Braun is the same. And then you got John Collins. I know better than anybody how that guy gets down. And then Jalen Duren. That spacing's tough too.
No, I agree. I agree.
See, look, they had Luke Kennard. They would have to go back. Wait a minute, didn't they? Who did Kennard sign with?
He's with the Suns.
That's right. He signed with the Suns. Okay, gotcha.
And I'm gonna say this: we can talk about
Detroit
them.
Had Luke Kennard before. That's who he came from.
He came from Memphis.
He was on
the Pistons at one point. It's like, well, now you know they re-signed Kevin Huerter. They're basically gonna waive Duncan Robinson. It sounds like.
That's crazy.
I know, because Duncan Robinson was actually pretty big for. I mean, the thing is, last year
they got hurt.
Their best shooter last year outside of Duncan Robinson was Tobias Harrison. Of course, I think him going to the Spurs is a big time move for them too.
That's huge. Yeah,
that floor space is about to be insane.
Absolutely. All right, cool. Zach, I like how you think. See, from a nostalgia perspective, I really would like to see LeBron in Golden State, but I think he's going to sit back, watch this. I mean, if I were him right now, Philly would be on the top of my list. I'm not going to lie.
I'm telling you, Philly going to be good ball, man. And what's wild is he was linked to them a couple years ago before he came to the Lakers.
I remember that. Now, what will be interesting now, though, is I believe this coming year, the East is actually going to be harder than to win in than the West is. I really do. Okay. Here, so let's walk through it because you're heavy up top. OKC, the Spurs. Let's talk, and then Minnesota?
I'm just be honest. You got OKC, you got the Spurs. You got the Timberwolves, you got the Lakers, you got the Rockets, you got the Nuggets.
No, hold up. Lakers and Rockets are second tier. I can be unbiased. They're second tier. There are a lot of teams in the East that will beat the Lakers.
Like who?
A lot of teams in the East that will beat the Rockets.
Like who?
Detroit that you just named.
That's one.
Cleveland would beat the Lakers right now.
No, they're not. No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
They would.
No, sir.
Okay.
Who's guarding Luka?
We also just talked about the Sixers. We also listen. Boston is going to beat some teams, even though Jaylen Brown is not on them.
Boston's a 6 seed, maybe 7 seed next year at best.
Okay.
Unless they go get Trey Murphy or somebody.
That 6 seed in the East is still better than the 6 seed in the West.
No, sir.
Respectfully disagree.
Respectfully disagree, sir.
All right,
that's like a 44-win team, 44-38.
That's what I'm saying. I don't see the vision, sir. I'm sorry.
Who is your 6th seed in the West?
Let me pull up the West. Let me pull up the Western. That's what I'm saying. Either the Rockets or the Nuggets are probably the 6th seed in the West.
And they'll go 50-32.
That's what I'm saying. I still think the West is going to be the superior conference.
I don't think so.
So Dad, let me just tell you the teams from last year. You got the Thunder, you got the Spurs, you got the Nuggets, you got the Lakers, you got the Rockets, the Timberwolves. The Suns are going to be better, quiet as kept, and the Trailblazers. Have you seen? No, I'm gonna be honest. Y'all saying that now? I guarantee you the Suns win more games than the Celtics do next year. I guarantee you. Stamp it right now.
Okay. All right,
stamp it right now. Dad homies, stamp it right now.
Bookmark it.
Dad homies, stamp it right now.
Right. Go down the list of the teams in the East.
You have Detroit, Boston, who's going to be worse.
Hold on. Let's start with New York. You know, they're the champions.
I'm just,
They
I'm just,
actually
I'm
won.
just, I'm just going by. Like,
No,
I'm
no,
literally, I'm
no,
literally
no,
going
no.
off of the
Let's
standings
go
from
down.
last year.
Let's go down the list.
Okay,
No, no, no.
so
New
Knicks
York
first.
won the championship. Let's
Knicks,
start there.
Knicks first. You got
Uh-huh.
the Pistons.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
I'm not counting the Celtics because I don't think they're going to be that good.
You don't know what
Cavs,
the
Philly.
Celtics are gonna do.
Cavs, Philly,
Who?
Cavs, and the Raptors. I'm gonna throw those three teams in there, and the
Uh-huh.
Heat.
Okay. And so the Heat just got Giannis.
But Dad, they have no outside of Giannis. Who is going to get them a bucket?
Come on,
They
man.
lost Norman
Now,
Powell today.
now you're giving teams in the West credit for how they're gonna build things out. You don't think Pat Riley's gonna fill that roster?
Dad, I'm just being honest with you. You're not taking the Rockets or the Nuggets right now, given like the way that they've proved that they can play basketball together over the Miami Heat right
Neither
now.
of those teams can play. So the Denver Nuggets can't guard a dead fly. We agree
Dad,
on that.
Dad, I'm sorry. Right now in a 7-game series, I'm taking the Nuggets over the Heat. I'm sorry.
I'm not. I'm definitely
If
not.
they bring back
No.
Peyton Watson and have Jamar
Nope.
Murray and basically that same exact roster,
Do you see how they got exposed because they don't play defense? What did Jaden Daniels say? He said we went at all of them because none of them play defense.
Dad, it's still Nikola Jokic though. I'm sorry.
Zach, bookmark it. I'm gonna be right
All
on
right.
this one.
So you think basically what
Bookmark
you're saying is like, and I
The
mean
East
it's
is going to be better than the West.
it's not
That
the
is my
worst
statement.
take I've ever heard. I'm just saying I gotta respectfully disagree.
Well,
Well,
I'm gonna
what's
disrespectfully
the
disagree with you.
what's the the benchmark here? Are we going off of just regular season standings and wins?
No, what we're going off of is playoffs.
Okay.
So
Once we
basically
get to the playoffs.
what you're saying is like whoever wins it all next year is coming out the East?
That's exactly what
Oh
I'm
no, sir. There's
And I-
absolutely no way.
saying. Okay. All right. I think you are
So let me ask you this:
Listen.
who are you predicting to win it all then?
somebody from the East.
No, I'm asking. No, what I'm asking is
Easy.
what specific team?
Listen.
Do you have
So
a list
what
of 2 to 3
specific team from the-
teams?
What specific team from the West are you saying is going to win? The Spurs?
OKC or the Spurs?
OKC or the Spurs, yeah.
I don't think it's going to be OKC.
OKC,
And
the Spurs, or maybe Minnesota if they go get Braun?
If I honestly see Minnesota jumping over those two teams this coming year based on who else they get in free agency.
Wait, jumping over the Spurs?
Yep. sure
Dad, it
is.
was absolutely. Dad, come on, man. That's back to back. Come on,
Okay.
man. That's two shakies. Two shakies.
Do you? Okay. See, we always talk about recency bias, and this is what I told you about Victor Wembanyama. So I'm gonna listen. Since this is gonna be our last episode for the summer, we're gonna take a sabbatical. We going all in because here's the reality. You talked about Victor Wembanyama being the next great thing, and I told you, I said that dude is not strong enough. He's got to gain some weight. You can't be a top 3 or 5 player in the NBA and let your team lose those last 3 games the way they lost. That's why San Antonio ain't ready yet. They better go get some more pieces, and he better gain some weight.
They
He better
have.
get his weight up. That's the reality. So that's the first thing. So your mentality of, oh, the Spurs did? No, they proven it. Jalen Brunson beat them single-handedly almost. A 7'5" dude couldn't stop a 6'3" guard. That's the reality.
That I have to disrespect. I have
so
to
the Spurs-
disrespectfully disagree with you right there. De'Aaron Fox lost in that series, sir, and Mitch Johnson.
Oh, so you can't. So the fact that Victor Wembanyama wasn't going.
No.
down
What I'm
those
saying,
last
no,
3
yo,
games.
Dad, I'm not letting Victor Wembanyama off the hook, but everybody knows this. If they would have just made a
Who's
few,
everybody?
every NBA person that watched the
Depending on what
fight,
he
even
says,
even the Knicks fans, everybody that watched that series, they literally blew a 10-point lead in literally 4 out of 5 of those games, and
One game they
more.
blew a 29-point lead.
But my
So if a
point,
dude
but
is
my
7'5", you blow a 29-point lead in a
But
game.
Dad, with all
and
due
you're
respect,
7'5",
no. What I'm saying though is,
uh,
Dad. But let me say this: Victor Wembanyama could have played better, but he also played well enough for them to win that to win that series. De'Aaron
disagree.
Fox, Luke Cornett, and Mitch Johnson lost them that series. It is what
I
it
disagree
is.
that he played well enough to have won the championship. I disagree.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying that he was still the second best player on the court outside of Jalen Brunson.
Was it? I'll be honest with you. Dylan Harper was probably the second best player outside of Jalen.
Yeah, Dylan Harper was not.
He was
better
the most
than Wemby, Dad.
consistent
I'm
player
sorry.
throughout the whole series.
But
That's
Dad,
the reality.
here's the problem. You're proving my point. Did Mitch Johnson play him? No, he didn't. He kept De'Aaron Fox out there, the swiper.
Yeah.
It is easier to be consistent in less minutes. I'll say that.
That's
True.
all. Dad, I'm
But
just telling you.
listen, it's also easier to be consistent when you're 7'5" and you don't go down low.
Dad, I'm not I'm telling you, Wemby could have played better, and I think this is going to be a good learning experience for him. But he's not the sole reason why they lost this series.
I didn't say he's a single reason. I said though
He's
if
not the
he's gonna
biggest
be the
reason
next-
either.
I would disagree
Height-wise,
because
yeah.
if bottom line is if you're supposed to be the franchise player, it is your job to take over. That's what Jalen Brunson did. That's what Jalen Brunson did.
That's
He's
fair.
6'3".
That's fair. He
Well,
took
all right,
over.
That's
But
different.
beyond that, sir, would you think if the Thunder beat the Spurs in that 7 games that they beat the Knicks?
Yes, easily. They
Yes,
beat them in
That's
5
absolutely-
games.
They easily beat the
They
Knicks.
beat them in 5 games. Easily.
Well, no, okay, y'all. That's a little much.
That it's not. It's not.
I
They
believe.
Yeah,
would
I'm
stick
gonna be
Lou
honest.
Dort,
Dad, I'm gonna be
Caruso,
honest with you.
Queso,
That's what I'm saying.
all on Brunson.
Jalen Brunson would have literally been locked up. And then let me ask you this: outside of OG Anunoby stepping up in 2 of the games with Karl Anthony Towns good, he was terrible.
I agree.
He was terrible. Was Deuce McBride good? He was terrible. Mitchell Robinson was better than Karl Anthony Towns in half of those games.
See, so now you're proving my point. You talked about them being terrible, but Wemby couldn't take advantage of it.
Dad, it's not just Wemby though. Wemby's
It is,
Dad.
but you just listed the 2 dudes that he was supposed to that was supposed to be guarding. him.
Dad, De'Aaron Fox, who was making $50+ million a year, was literally a war criminal in that series. He was so bad, I thought he was pulling a Malik Beasley stunt and was working with draft
So
teams.
do you think
he
Karl
was
Anthony
that
Towns-
terrible?
Do you think Karl Anthony Towns played like an all-star?
He absolutely. Dad, he had a couple games. The first 2 games he played solid, but he was in foul trouble every game.
Okay. The point I'm making to you is the dude who stepped up was Jalen Brunson.
He
He's
did, but Dad,
He stepped up.
you acting like Wemby was just god awful. He still averaged 24 and 12 a game, close to it.
Jamison, I could average 24 and 12 if I'm 7'5". The dude had 40 and 20 in one game, and
Yeah.
after that, he kind of faded.
Yeah, that's
Let's
not.
just be real.
And then here's what I'm also gonna say. Not trying to make an excuse for them, but I am gonna say this. They literally came off of a 7-game series with arguably the best team in the NBA. The New York Knicks were literally resting at the bodegas for 2 weeks leading up to the finals. If
Okay.
we're just
So
being
now,
Zach, am I wrong about that though?
Let me tell you what you sound like. You sound like OKC fans now.
Dad,
That's what you sound like.
Dad,
You're making.
let me ask you this: on their playoff
You
run.
sound like OKC fans.
No, let me ask you this though: on their playoff run, did the Knicks play a team that was better than the Minnesota Timberwolves?
I think that's subjective.
What do you mean it's subjective? Literally the Spurs.
it's subjective.
Literally the Spurs played the Minnesota Timberwolves in the second round of the playoffs, and then followed that up by playing the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay, so let me ask you
Dad,
this
this same
question.
Knicks
No.
team almost lost to the Hawks in the first
Since
round.
you're
And CJ
since you're
McCollum.
since you're making excuses for Wemby, they also played a Minnesota team with a very injured Anthony Edwards.
Dad,
Since we're making excuses.
what I'm saying though is there any team that the Knicks beat on the way to making the finals that would have beat that Minnesota team?
Detroit.
They didn't play Detroit. Detroit didn't get past Cleveland.
But that's the point. Detroit is going to be a team that, with additional pieces, will be very
Dad,
difficult to beat in the East.
You're saying that Detroit
Bookmark it.
almost lost to the Magic.
And the Pistons almost lost.
Dad,
I'm sorry, the Spurs almost lost.
the Knicks literally played the Hawks, the 76ers, and the Cavaliers headed to the finals. The 76ers didn't even have Joel Embiid healthy. Paul George was terrible.
You're giving me all the teams that they played, and I'm still telling you they beat the Spurs.
All I'm
So
Dad,
what is your argument?
no, let me ask you this, and we're going to move on.
What is your no? What is your argument? Because they lost. The Spurs lost to the Knicks.
All I'm
so what is your
no,
argument?
what I'm saying though is they had a more grueling and draining run to the NBA Finals by the time they got there. They literally played who more than likely, like we just said, if the Thunder would have beat the Spurs, they're beating the Knicks in 5 games. Easily.
I disagree. Nope.
Easily.
Disagree.
And Dad, let me ask you this. Didn't we say this throughout the entire season? Whoever made it out of the West was winning it all? Did we not
did.
say that?
We did say that because we thought Minnesota was going to be in the mix as well. More so in the mix than they were. And
All
they
I'm
would have been
saying
had
is
Anthony Edwards not been
that
hurt.
I 1000% agree with you. Victor Wembanyama could have played better. But also, too, I expect a lot more from players like De'Aaron Fox. And Luke Cornett was absolutely god awful. He was terrible.
I
and
had
Mitch
the same
Johnson was
argument.
terrible, too.
I have the same argument with the Knicks. Karl Anthony Towns was god awful. The other players on the Knicks didn't step up. OG and Anunoby had two good
Dad,
games.
hold on now. Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, and Mikal Bridges all did play well in the finals.
What did Josh Hart do in that last game?
What do you mean what he did? He almost out-rebounded Wemby in the last game.
Okay. Again, you're helping me make my point. A 7-foot dude is getting out-rebounded by Josh Hart.
Dad,
So that's
the
the point I'm
closeout
simply
game,
making to
Stephon
you.
Castle had 0 points. You're telling me that's Victor Wembanyama's fault?
Trevor Ariza.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying,
just
Dad.
saying.
I'm just telling you.
I'm saying.
I'm
the
telling
dude
you,
was scared to get in the post.
I feel
because
like
he
we
was
can't.
tired of
I feel
being-
like we can't
teams
put.
being physical
I
with
feel
him.
like we can't put more blame on Victor Wembanyama than we do De'Aaron Fox and Mitch Johnson. Though we just can't do that.
Okay. All
I
right.
just looked it up. The Spurs played 4 more games than the Knicks did before they got to the finals.
And
played
they
18
also
compared to
played
14.
harder teams. They literally
Okay.
played the Timberwolves and the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Knicks
That is-
almost lost in the first round to CJ
Hey,
McCollum and Jalen
and
Johnson.
Yeah, so bottom line.
Almost as generous. Almost
No. So here's what I will say. So you keep talking about Minnesota, but you're not bringing up the fact that Anthony Edwards was playing on 2 bad knees, and he still was giving Cass the business.
No, he was. All that does is speak to Anthony Edwards' greatness. What I'm telling
But
you
it
is,
also speaks to what Victor Wembanyama's not quite greatness yet.
Dad,
That's the point I'm
the
making.
Knicks,
He's
the
not
Knicks,
there yet.
Dad, think about this. Let me just compare the 2 runs. The Indiana Pacers making the NBA Finals was way more impressive than the Knicks making it. The Knicks played absolutely nobody on their road to the finals. They did it.
I
I'd
disagree.
take 2 bad knees, Anthony Edwards over James Harden any
That's
day
what
of
I'm
the week.
saying.
Okay, the two of you will agree that here's what we can agree on, because the two of you have this whole mindset, and you know, Zach, I know you keep saying you're no longer an OKC fan. Yeah, you are.
Nope.
Um,
Nope.
J-Dub
Yeah.
fan.
So, but here's the reality. What happened with OKC? The whistles didn't help them this time. That's why they lost. And to be perfectly honest with you, to say that the Knicks would have lost to them in 5 games, if they got the same whistle that the Spurs got, no, they would not have.
But I'm gonna be honest. It's not even. It's not even.
They lose.
It's not even about. It's not even about the whistle though. It's just that you got to think about all the perimeter defenders that the Thunder had that they could have slapped on Jalen Brunson. You're talking about instead of Stephon Castle and De'Aaron Fox, you're throwing Caruso, Cason Wallace, AJ Mitchell, J-Dub, Lou Dort.
Yeah, but again, we just talked about the whistle. They didn't get the same whistle like they normally get. Let's just be honest.
They have Dub.
They didn't.
They have their second best player. In
They had Dub last year.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say this though, and you know I don't like the Thunder, but really the reason why they lost Game 7 is because J-Dub didn't play and Chet Holmgren was terrible. He had 4 points.
AJ Mitchell didn't play.
That was single-handedly the best playoff game that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had, and they still almost lost. They barely lost that game. The reason why they lost is because Chet was terrible. They didn't have J-Dub nor AJ Mitchell. That's a fact.
And the Spurs get an attribute boost playing the Thunder.
Y'all sound like OKC fans. Y'all making excuses.
I'm not a fan. I'm calling a spade a spade.
Nope. You're making excuses for why Cats didn't win, and then you're making excuses for why the Knicks didn't win.
I'm glad they didn't win. I'm just thinking if they have full health, I think they win.
And I'm gonna be honest. I was rooting for the Spurs, and I completely agree.
Was fully healthy, they would have beat the Spurs.
Yeah, that's not happening.
I can say that.
No, sir.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying. You're gonna make y'all can make excuses or give it reasons for why the teams that you thought should have won didn't win. But when I say, well, the Knicks could have done this and that, and they were healthy, and Karl Anthony Towns didn't play well, neither did half of the starting lineup, but Jalen Brunson stepped up. Period.
But can
you even said it, Jameson. You said I have a different respect for him.
I do. He came to play.
A 6'2" guard stepped up when a 7'5" dude didn't.
But can I ask?
Too young. Their only vet is a war criminal and got blocked on that stupid layup. Their coach isn't as good as they think. Dagnall would run circles around Mitch Johnson in the finals in terms of the schemes. Like I
don't think so.
That's why the Thunder would beat them. They've been there.
And Dad, can I ask you this too? Is Jalen Brunson getting a 40+ point game against the Thunder perimeter defenders? I think not.
You keep saying that, but here's the bottom line. You act like Stephon Castle. What's the point guard? The other guard's name?
Dylan Harper.
So Dylan Harper.
Devin Vassell.
Yeah, you Vassell, and then the
Dad,
Champagny.
Dad,
You act like these dudes. You
Dad.
act like these dudes don't play defense.
No, that Stephon Castle's a great defender, but he's also has to do a lot offensively. Cason Wallace is literally his job is to go out there, lock up, and hit wide open shots. Same with Caruso. Same with Lou
And
Dort. What do you
did he-
What do
Dort
you
is
mean?
draining.
And
And did they? Did they?
that's
Against the same dudes that you say can't play defense and wouldn't have locked up Jalen Brunson.
that Jalen Brunson literally
did
had
lock up Jalen
40.
Brunson.
He had 40 plus points in the closeout game, and Stephon Castle had 2. That's a glaring discrepancy, sir. Are you
Okay,
that?
and?
Come on, man.
So what that's telling me is Jalen Brunson gave him the business and he couldn't.
No,
stop.
Dad. What I'm
what it
trying
tells
what
me.
I'm trying to prove what I'm trying to do to prove my point is you keep saying it was strictly Wemby. Stephon Castle was probably their second best player on the court
What
in
I'm
that
asking,
starting
no,
lineup, and he gave them
we're-
2 points in the
We're
closeout game.
talking about the fact that you said OKC would have shut him down, and you make it seem like the Spurs perimeter players stink defensively.
So that
Dylan
so let me
Harper
ask you
played-
this: Are the Knicks? So are you saying that the Knicks would have beat the Thunder?
I said the Knicks have a chance to beat the Thunder. Absolutely. Y'all said, "Oh, it'll be over in 5." I totally disagree with that. Completely.
I
If
don't know.
Jalen Brunson can literally score 40 points against a team that has Victor Wembanyama, Vassell, a young team, just like OKC is, although they've got some guys that come off the bench, they couldn't stop them. OKC couldn't stop the Spurs' best perimeter players.
But that,
So you're telling me that they just gonna shut Jalen Brunson down when he scored 40 against the same team that was in the championship?
I'm not saying they would have shut him down. I just think they have way more perimeter
Y'all's
defenders that
arguments
would
are
have.
subjective.
They
They're
had
not
way more.
objective.
They had way more perimeter defenders, and then they also had Chet
What
Holmgren.
did Lou Dort do in the finals?
He didn't play.
What exactly?
He didn't
Because he was
play.
ineffective. So you
The
think that
Spurs play way better than the Thunder. It's
So-
or against the Thunder. It's
okay,
close.
that's fine. But so what you're telling me is Lou Dort, all of a sudden, even though he barely played in the finals, he would be the Jalen
That,
Brunson
but
stopper.
no. What I'm saying, because Dad, his role is to come in and defend. We're not asking Lou Dort to go give you 25. But we're literally his role is to come in and play defense. You had Lou Dort, Alex
His
Caruso,
role is to
Cason
play
Wallace,
defense and hit
and
wide
Jay.
open threes. He did neither.
Dad, my point, but Dad, all I'm saying though is Jalen Brunson is a perimeter scorer. What team has the best?
Not against the Spurs.
Dad,
he scored.
Dad, let me ask you. Dad, let me ask you the question. What team in the NBA on paper this past season had the best collection of perimeter defenders in all basketball?
On paper.
It's
On
not on
paper.
paper. Look at the numbers. It's Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay, and what happened to that perimeter defense against the
Dad,
Spurs?
they didn't have 2 out
They
of
barely
5.
lost to 7 'cause
That's
they
what I'm
didn't have
saying.
Dub.
They didn't have Dub nor AJ Mitchell.
Once again, y'all create excuses.
We're
I'm
not.
just-
We're calling a
it's-
spade a
it's-
spade.
it's-
Look.
It baffles me. It baffles me.
Jalen Brunson having to deal with the rotating.
That's
duo
what I'm
of
saying.
Cason
There's a
Wallace, Lou Dort,
difference.
And Caruso, like it's 10 minutes. Boom! I'm throwing him at you. All right, let me get a.
That's what I'm
refresh back.
saying.
It's like
How effective were they against the Spurs?
the
Answer that
Spurs turned
question.
into Jesus of Nazareth against the
No.
Thunder.
Nope. Answer
Dad,
that
Dad,
question.
they were very
How
effective against
were
them.
they against the Spurs?
They were very
Those
effective.
lockdown perimeter defenders, how effective were they?
Dad,
against the
they were
Spurs?
very
I'll pull up the
effective.
numbers.
They
I'll
were
pull up
very
the numbers, hold
effective. The reason why they won that series
That's
was
what I'm saying.
they were
Listen,
very effective.
Wemby
Don't
won in the
believe.
series.
Don't believe.
Wemby won in that series.
Analytics don't always tell the story. Believe what your eyes see.
Dad,
When I watched
Dad.
the game, Lou Dort barely got any playing time. Kason played more than him. And what's old boy's name? Caruso. Caruso had 2 good games and he shot out of his mind. After that, he was ineffective.
Dad, did Dylan
I'm
Harper
talking about
get,
defense, though.
Dad, did Dylan Harper have
I'm talking about defense.
did Dylan Harper get his rocks off against the Thunder at all, or was it against was it against the Knicks? Did De'Aaron Fox have any memorable games against the Thunder? Did Stephon Castle have any memorable? What I'm telling you is their perimeter
What I'm telling
defense
you
is
is that Lou Dort
different.
have any memorable games against the Spurs.
He didn't have to play
He
because they
didn't
have
to
so
play.
many
No,
other.
he
They
was
have so many
ineffective.
other
That's why he
different
didn't
perimeter
play.
defenders. He doesn't have to play.
That's not true. Jameson, come on, man. That dude played the majority of the minutes earlier in the season. All of a sudden in the playoffs, he's ineffective.
He didn't play in the
Caruso got more time.
playoffs because Caruso Caruso was also a better overall player than Lou Dort. He was
Okay.
hitting threes.
Exactly. He was hitting threes, which he normally
Oh
doesn't do.
my goodness, Dad,
So the
Dad,
arguments that y'all are making are
Dad.
excuses.
These are
That's what they
valid
are.
arguments,
Hold on.
though.
I
They're
got the
valid.
tabs. I got the
I
tabs.
don't
Hold
care
on.
about your analytics, Zach. I could care less. I know what my eyes show me.
They're
I know
valid,
what my
though. They're
no,
Well,
they're
valid.
the
not.
number, the
They're only
percentages don't
valid. They're
change.
only valid when you're trying to make an argument or you're trying to complete an argument. They're only valid. That's when they're valid. Yeah. Because
Hold
analytically,
on.
analytically, who was the
I,
better team offensively?
I think the Thunder.
the Thunder were the
No,
better team
I'm talking.
offensively.
No, analytically, who was the better team offensively in the finals is what I'm talking about.
Probably the Spurs. They had a lead in
And
damn near every
oh, and by the
game.
way, defensively, the New York Knicks had the best defensive rating heading into the finals.
Dad, because they
Just so
didn't
you
play
know.
anybody. They literally played the 76ers.
Because they didn't play anybody. Okay.
They did it.
Listen, we're gonna move on because there are a few more
Zach,
free
Zach,
agent
let me
topics
ask you
that we
this.
need to
No,
talk
real quick before we move on, though. When you're playing worse teams, isn't your defense going to look better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
And when
saying.
you're
What do you mean, Dad?
okay,
Come on,
okay,
man.
listen.
Stephon
You
Castle shot better from 3 against the Knicks.
Come on,
He
man.
shot 23% against the Thunder.
okay, here we go.
Wemby shot 27% against the Knicks.
Dad, all I'm saying is I don't think it's fair to compare how good the Knicks defense looked whenever they played the Atlanta Hawks, the Cleveland Cavaliers, who were terrible,
I'm gonna
and
remind
the
you
Philadelphia
that you were sending me
76ers when
text
they
messages
hobbled
saying,
Joel
I'm
Embiid.
gonna remind you. You sent me text messages saying, "Quiet as kept. The Hawks might beat the Knicks."
And
I
they
remember that.
were on
I
pace to
remember the
beat
text.
them.
See, I know better, sir. I know
They
better.
were
He hadn't
they,
lived here long enough.
they, they were on pace, and then they got destroyed. So I'm just gonna remind you of some of the things you said.
Can I ask you this though before we move on? Is there any team out of the 3 teams that I just named that's beating the Minnesota Timberwolves in a series or the Oklahoma City Thunder? I don't think so.
Yes,
Who?
absolutely.
Who?
Absolutely. And I'm gonna leave it at that. I told you that I think that the championship for 2027 is gonna come out of the East. Book it.
Dad
Mark
homies
my
is
words.
coming out the West. Dad
Mark my
homies.
words. Mark my words. Mark my words. I mean, listen, I'm not even a Knicks fan. You got me up here arguing for the Knicks. I can't believe
Crazy
I'm sitting
world.
here. It's a crazy world. I am arguing for the Knicks. But
You got me, Dad. Your take was so bad. You have me defending the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oh, no.
Listen, you have been the Oklahoma City Thunder got exposed because they didn't get the whistles. That's the reality. You can pull up all the analytics you want. Shea didn't get 37 free throws per game. That's the reason they lost.
And they still
Lou
said the
Dort didn't
Spurs
come
to
on.
7.
Lou Dort didn't get on the court because he can't shoot. That's the reality. The truth of the matter is the OKC Thunder got exposed because they didn't get the whistle like they normally get it.
Respectfully,
How
also,
you exposed if you go to 7 with no dub?
but that respectfully too, they didn't have Jalen Dub, they didn't have Jalen Williams or AJ Mitchell
Jameson,
either.
do you not remember the conversation that we had about J Dub? Because when he did come back and play, he didn't play well.
But they
they
also didn't have AJ Mitchell, and then your second best player gave you 4 points. You are gonna lose.
And so what did Karl Anthony Towns do? Because he's the New York Knicks' second best player. What did
Chet
he do?
Holmgren's a fraud.
Chet Holmgren's a fraud.
What did Karl Anthony Towns do? Because he's the Knicks' second best player. How effective was he?
No, I think the Knicks' second best player was OG Anunoby.
He's a man.
That's a crazy stretch.
That right there might be the craziest statement that has been made all
But
night.
Dad, I'm gonna say this because I mean we could literally keep talking about this for the next hour. We can agree to disagree. I feel like we both made valid points on both sides, and I feel like it remains to be.
I may be only valid.
It remains to be seen though, and I think okay. Let me say this. We can all agree on this though. I think next season is going to be absolute cinema. And I think both conferences got better. I think it's going to just make for more competitive basketball year-round for both conferences. I feel like we can all agree on that. We can agree on that.
Here's what I will say. If LeBron ends up in the Eastern Conference, it's a wrap.
That's fair.
It's a wrap. I'm just telling you. Especially if he ends up with Philly. It's a wrap.
Last team I thought about, couldn't LeBron just go join the Knicks?
Scary.
I don't think he would, but couldn't he?
I mean, he could.
What's stopping him?
He could sign for the veteran. He could sign for the veteran minimum.
I mean, what's stopping him?
I think he's sitting back waiting to see what the landscape looks like.
Yeah, that's a fact. So
Yeah. All
we'll
right,
go
we're
and
gonna
move
wrap
on.
up.
That was fun though.
We're
That was
gonna wrap
fun.
up. Yeah, that was fun. You and Zach obviously don't know ball, but it's okay. Um,
Wow,
I'm kidding. I'm joking. What's funny
my
about
heart.
this is we know ball, and we still had this. I mean, that
But
was
that
impressive.
also makes for good healthy debate though. You know what I'm saying? Like we're
Absolutely.
not always
Yes.
gonna agree on everything. It's good ball.
Yeah, it is good ball, and we know ball. All right, two quick things that I wanted to touch on for some of the moves that were made, and we've honestly kind of debated them back and forth. Giannis going to Miami, and then I also wanted to touch base on Kawhi and John Morant,
Sure.
their new landing spot. So Giannis, we talked a little bit about it. Pat Riley has some work to do because I kind of feel like it's Milwaukee South. That's what I feel like, unless they make some major moves. It's Milwaukee South. That's what Miami is right
I'll
now.
say this. I think Miami's going to be a good team. I just don't think they have enough to win it all. And like it started today with
Agreed.
like them losing Norman Powell was huge. Like he
That's
was
huge.
literally an all-star. He was an all-star this past year. Like he was that good. So it's like now your potential starting lineup, granted, the offseason is not over. But right now as it stands, your potential starting lineup is Davion Mitchell, Tim Hardaway Jr., Andrew Wiggins, Giannis, and Bam Adebayo. That's not beating Philly.
Agreed.
You know what
That
I'm
might not
saying?
even beat Boston, and they're
That's
not even a complete team right now.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't think that team is that might not even meet the Cavs if they actually poop. And I'll
Agreed.
be honest with the Pistons getting John Collins, if they get Jalen Duren back, I don't think that team beats the Pistons.
I agree.
So
I
I think
agree.
it's a good move. You know, Giannis has always been linked to Miami. I feel like that was actually a destination he wanted to go to. Here is the one upside I will say for Giannis. This is the best coach he's ever played for. And here's my
Yes.
thing. All this talk about Giannis, you know, getting rid of coaches. If he can't make it work with Eric Spoelstra, he needs to look in the mirror.
Agreed. Completely
You
agree.
know?
Yes.
So
Completely agree. All right, last two. Kawhi going back to Toronto.
I'll say
I
this.
I, I kind
I
of like that move.
I like the move for the Raptors, but I feel like the Clippers low key fleeced them
Oof.
with that trade package. They got
Yes.
2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, Brandon Ingram, and Grady Dick. Pause on that.
Double pause.
And here's what I'm gonna say. I think it's a very risky move because, granted, Kawhi Leonard. People forget he was All NBA second team this year, so like he had a phenomenal season. And you know, to qualify for All NBA, you got to at least play 65 games. So huge kudos to Kawhi for playing 65 games. Do I see that happening again for the next 3 seasons? I don't think
Absolutely
so.
not.
And here's the thing. Part of the reason why he didn't want to re-sign with the Clippers, and I'm like, I understand. I wouldn't pay you either. You know, his contract's about to be up. The Clippers, he wanted a max contract for the Clippers. I wouldn't pay him
What?
that at all. Absolutely not. So
Man, you
here's
work
what's
too
going to
hard.
happen. I think Toronto looks good on paper. I like him, Scotty Barnes, and RJ Barrett. I think they're going to be a really good team. Is that enough to win it all? I don't think so.
Nope.
And now the Clippers, quiet as kept. They had a really good draft pick. You have Darius Garland now. You have Brandon Ingram, who was a fringe all-star this year. You still have some young talent like Derrick Jones, Benedict Mathurin. I think they've actually getting rid of Kawhi. That's probably the best haul they could have got for him, in my eyes. So I
I agree.
think it was good for both teams.
I agree. All right, one last one. Ja Morant.
I'll say
Portland.
this
I'm confused.
from a basketball perspective, and for Ja on and off the court, this is the perfect place for him. There's nothing to do in Portland. I love this. All he can do in Portland is just continue to sell his Ja Morant shoes because the Nike headquarters is there. That's all he can do. Granted, you can get into trouble anywhere, but I'd rather see him in Portland than Chicago. I'm gonna put it that way.
Well, look, you and I talked about this offline, and I said I really would have loved to have seen him paired up with Caleb Wilson.
Yo,
But
as
you
soon
said
as you said that, I said,
as
John,
soon as
Chicago? Are you
said
crazy?
Chicago?
No,
Man,
sir.
are you crazy?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, the more you thought
You're
about it, it's like him there, like Detroit. There's just
Yeah.
some markets where Ja Morant does not need to be. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
But I will say this. I think it's a good move for Portland. I'm just confused because they have 18 guards on that roster.
literally they have a 13-man roster, and 9 of them are guards.
Like their starting backcourt is going to be Ja Morant and Dame at the 2, which I think Dame can play the 2. And honestly, you know, coming off the Achilles injury, him being able to play off the ball more and not having to be as ball dominant will be good for him. Pause on that. And I think off the bench, you still having Drew Holiday, Shaden Sharp, Scoot Henderson. That's really good ball. And I do like their bigs, but I just think, you know, this has to be a long-term move. This has to be a move where like Ja can be their point guard of the future after Dame is gone. You know what I'm saying? Or like
Yeah.
after Dame retires. But I think for what they got him for, only having to literally trading Jeremy Grant and Chris Murray for him is good ball. Like that's they low key fleece him if Ja Morant can play back to the level of basketball that he was playing before all the antics and the injuries. You know.
Agreed.
So, but
Absolutely
I'm
agree.
happy for Ja. I think this is a good opportunity for him, and it's like he can really just focus on basketball. In my opinion, it's Portland, Oregon. You know,
That that is a
you
very good
know.
point. I just listen. I just kind of feel like Portland is becoming like Sacramento. It's kind
But
of
I'll be
becoming a
honest,
place.
quiet as kept, they could probably be the 7th seed next year in the West.
Well,
They
I'm
could be a
thinking
very
play
good
in.
team.
I'm thinking play
I don't
in. I
know.
mean, yeah, well, but it's just according to whether or not he and Dame can
And
coexist.
it's not even just about those two coexisting. It's like Denny Avia had his best year this year, and he's
That's
also
true.
very ball dominant. So it's like you
That's
now
true.
have three ball dominant players in your point guard, shooting guard, and small forward spot. It's like I do like their bigs. Though. I like Klingen. They re-signed Robert Williams. I think overall, like the roster is very nicely built. It's like to your point, is the backcourt gonna mesh? I don't know.
That's a very good question.
Yeah,
I mean, to your point, and then even your second string, the dudes who come in are ball dominant. Scoot Henderson.
yeah, and Shaden
Now Drew
Sharp.
Holiday can, yeah, and Shannon Sharp. Now Drew Holiday can exist anywhere else. By the way, he's one of the dudes that I've always wished the Lakers would go out and sign.
Well,
I
you
just
never.
don't.
Here's the problem, though. His contract next year, he's making $37 million.
Well, good
So
God.
no one's going to trade for him, and it's like Portland cannot afford to buy him out. You know.
Yeah, I do. But he's
So
one of the. But before before he ended up there,
I
he was one
know
of the guys that I just always said
you said it
the
for the
Lakers.
longest.
I've said it for years,
Yep.
literally for like 2 or 3
You
years.
said it back
He's a
when he was
dude.
in New Orleans. Like whenever the Anthony Davis trade happened, we wanted him to be
That's
a
right.
part of it.
I did. I
Yep.
said from then he should have been a Laker.
Yep.
All right, one last one, and then we're going to wrap up. LaMelo Ball with
Whew, I'm happy.
yeah. I was waiting. Go ahead. I'm
Well,
gonna let the floor is yours.
here's what I'll say. I'm biased because LaMelo is probably my second favorite player right now, just being honest with
Hmm.
you. I think him and Anthony Edwards is going to be absolute cinema, and I think he's the perfect fit to play alongside Anthony Edwards. I know the biggest questions about LaMelo are his maturity and can he stay healthy. Here's what I'll say. LaMelo's never had the opportunity to play winning basketball. It's hard to be a mature basketball player when you know you have to lace it up for the Charlotte Hornets every year. You know what I'm saying? With all due respect. Like
Yeah.
you're not winning, you're not winning anything. It's
No
like
argument there.
yeah, you're not winning anything, so it's hard to be mature. He's still 24. And I think if he can actually stay healthy, I think the Timberwolves, like we said, they can actually be a contender next year, especially if they add somebody like LeBron. From the Hornets' perspective, I don't think it's a bad move because it's like if they were going to trade LaMelo, now's the time to do it because if he got hurt again or something like that, it's just going to diminish his trade value even more. I like Nas Reed for that team. I'm really glad that Kobe White will be able to be like their starting
Can
point guard
actually
going
shine.
forward.
Yes.
They got some good picks for it. Here's my only concern. As good as Concanipple was and Brandon Miller, Concanipple's not giving you 25 to 30 off the dribble. LaMelo
No.
got him a lot of wide open shots and just made him look good. I'm not saying Con's not a good player. He's a great player. He, in my opinion, should have got Rookie of the Year. I just feel like they're putting a lot of pressure on Concaniple and Brandon Miller going forward. And quiet as kept, Brandon Miller can never stay healthy either. So
That's true.
I just don't. I think it's a good move for them long term, and I like the way that they're actually constructing the roster. And now here's the one plus: they have about 4 to 5 first round picks that they can trade for, in a superstar level player in the future. It's just I feel like now LaMelo actually got people to come out and watch the Hornets outside of just watching the opposing team, and now it's like nobody's box office on that roster. Nobody's paying harder money to go see Concanipple. I'm sorry. It just is what he's not box office. He's not.
Well, here's what I will say
LaMelo
about
put
that.
butts in seats.
He did. Here's what I'll say about that. The two things about the moves that the Hornets made that I don't like. Um, to your point, Knipple is not. We've talked about it. He looks like Klay Thompson. He's not Klay Thompson,
Yeah.
at least not yet. I don't like them getting rid of Bridges. I really don't.
Yeah, see,
I
that's the move that confused me. And it's like they got
yeah.
Grayson Allen back and Royce O'Neal, two good depth
Yeah,
pieces, but it's like
I
Miles
don't like
Bridges
Knipple.
was. But here's the thing: Miles Bridges really flourished and was like at his best when he played with
Because
LaMelo.
of LaMelo.
Exactly.
Agreed.
It's proving
Yes.
my point. It's like, and here's the thing before we move on and wrap it up. The Hornets were arguably the best team in all of basketball after the All-Star break. Why blow it up now?
Yeah. I agree.
They were
I
literally
completely
a
agree.
half away from making the playoffs.
Yeah. No, I agree. I completely agree. It's the Hornets. I'm just going. I mean, it is what it is.
It is.
It's like they take 3 steps forward and take 27 steps back.
And
That's what they
here's
do.
the last thing I'm gonna say. What kind of ticks me off? I'm like, seeing the trade package that Jaylen Brown just got traded for. Why were they not aggressive with the picks that they had?
Right.
Jaylen Brown
Exactly.
literally just got traded for a bag of Munchos and a crop top. Are you kidding me? Like, they literally had 4 first-round picks at their disposal, and they could have thrown Brandon Miller in that trade package, and I guarantee you Jaylen Brown's on the Charlotte Hornets right now. What are they
Boy.
doing?
I that's what I'm saying. It's the Hornets, man. It's
Because
confusing.
here's the last thing I'm gonna say. The Hornets, the only way that they can build their roster is either going to be through the draft or through trades. No free
Yes.
agent is coming to sign it with the Hornets.
No,
It
no,
is what
not
it
at all.
is.
It is what it is, and that's the way it's always been.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we had fun today.
That was an amazing episode.
What I will
enjoyed
say
being
is,
back.
I learned today that Zach and Jameson simply don't know basketball.
That's insane.
It is mind-boggling.
That's
It is-
crazy.
I am completely
I
confused.
just took. I muted. I just took a shotgun blast straight. That's
That's what I'm saying, bro.
unreal.
No, in all seriousness, it'll be fun to watch how the season plays out and whether these two actually know what they're talking about. I would argue that they don't. But
Well, history tells me that I'm pretty spot on with most things, so I'll just leave it at that.
oh, well, that must be a history book that only you've read.
Oh man.
Not in all seriousness. Thanks everybody for listening in. We're gonna wrap up. And by the way, we're gonna be gone for a few weeks, but we will be coming back. We're gonna have a little sabbatical for the summer, but then we'll be coming back strong. Expect to have a few additional guests when we come back after the summer break. So until then, same bat channel, same bat time when we return. Thanks for listening.